I've wanted to do a video about this for a while. I wrote about it on my blog. A lot of times people with disabilities have this idea that they will never find someone. They believe that their disability is too big of a barrier to finding love. And I grew up kind of having that in the back of my mind, that I would probably never find someone, and maybe if I did find someone, they would definitely also have a disability, because who else would be willing to put up with someone with a disability and all that comes with that. I've talked with a number of people who have disabilities, and they struggle with feelings of not thinking that they're ever going to get married, that someone is not going to find them attractive or desirable, and they will spend the rest of their life alone. Why don't you say something, darling?
Because I don't really have anything to say. I just want to go make my biscuits.
Joy just wants to make her biscuits.
It's late.
And that's not even code for anything. That is literally, she's going to go and make like biscuits.
I have buttermilk that needs to be used up in a couple of days. I wanted to make Joanna Gaines's buttermilk biscuits for breakfast. They have to sit in the fridge overnight.
I am a blessed man to have found a lovely, beautiful wife who accepts me for who I am and who is willing to make biscuits for me.
Yep.
So enjoy the story. I mean, not like the biscuits. I'm eating the biscuits.
Okay.
The story is coming, like right now. And go. Hi, everyone. Why won't this guy move up more? He's like a full car length.
Maybe he's trying to... maybe he's trying to leave space for the Popeyes drive-thru.
Maybe.
Anyway, start over again.
Start over. We're in the Starbucks drive-thru. This is the biggest Starbucks drive-thru. This is our local.
That's not Starbucks.
That's Popeyes.
It goes all the way around to the other side of the building. So we're going to be here a while.
It's the month of May. And the month of May reminds me of our anniversary. Our 17th anniversary is in,
22 days.
Yeah, 22 days. I knew that. So I thought it might be an interesting video to tell you about the love story of the century. Me and Joy. Joy and me. Well, I don't know why she's laughing.
It's a little over dramatic.
Well, it's like a love story for the ages. It's like Romeo and Juliet, except way less tragic.
Is it though?
For me.
Not tragic.
For you, maybe it's tragic. Sorry.
Not the tragic part. The Romeo and Juliet. That was my is it really comment.
Anyway, it was a special time when Joy and I met. So I thought, let's take the next, 3, 4, 5 hours and tell you the whole story. That's not true. Joy would never in a million years let me take that long to tell a story. She doesn't even like when I take more than a minute and a half to tell a story.
You add a lot of extraneous information that no one really cares about.
It makes the story interesting.
Like our cruise fire. We'll have to tell you guys about that one.
The cruise fire. That story takes me about 45 minutes to tell in its entirety, and Joy can somehow do it in maybe 5 minutes. But she takes out all the interesting details. Anyway, this is what life turns into after 17 years. And yeah, so we're just going to get a coffee. And then we're going to take you around to some of the special sites in the city to document our love story. So it all started one summer evening on a Sunday evening. If you can believe it, I was single at this point in time in my life. I was 21 years old. I was the proud owner of a small failing grocery store, and yeah, life was interesting. I was not having the typical 21-year-old experience. my friend Rick and I, you'll hear a lot about Rick in this. Hi, Rick. Rick and I went to church on a Sunday evening at a church that was about a half an hour from us that we would often go to. And after the service, I was approached by a young lady who said, "Are you the guy that drove Rick?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she said, "Well, there's a party at my house. Can you guys come?" And at the end of the day, the only reason I got invited is because people wanted Rick there. But I was driving Rick, so it was obligated to, that I was going to this party. So I ended up at this party, and it was wild. We were in a basement. We watched Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, had some chips, Doritos. It was good.
It was more of a get-together.
But there was like 25 people.
You never did mention that young lady was me.
I'm getting there.
Okay, sorry.
So this young lady was Joy. She just ruined it. But really, all she wanted Rick to be at this.
Well, no, I didn't really care about Rick being there. It was...
You did. Rick was way cooler than me. I was like... I was a little bit more geeky, and Rick was he's kind of a cool guy. And so they wanted Rick at this party. I'm not offended by that.
I don't know that it was necessarily Rick. I think it was...
Maybe it was Rick's girlfriend at the time.
Yes.
They wanted Rick's girlfriend there. Rick was going with her.
I don't know.
Anyway, it was a big party.
I think I was just asking everybody. My parents weren't home, and like I said, it wasn't really a party. It was, come over to my house after church.
It was wild. So that is the very first time I met Joy. She never said a single thing to me other than asking me if I was driving Rick.
And I don't remember you being there, and I didn't know your name, that's for sure.
I am unforgettable. Anyway,
so
then, this is the night. This is the fateful night.
So, no, you should tell. So, in university, so I went to Western, which is in the current city that we live in. Rick, who I didn't really know first year. The summer that we had this party was in between my first and second year of university. And Rick also went, and we were both involved in a group called InterVarsity Christian Fellowship. And so I kind of knew Rick mostly from his girlfriend at the time, but then we got to know each other better in second year.
So, where we picked that story up is that Rick invited Joy to a church function that was back home, back where I was, where Rick was from. And our church had a unique youth group in that it sort of ran from, 11 to 21. When you're in a small church and there's not a lot of people, it just kind of all blends together. So there was this event at someone's house, and Joy got invited with Rick, and I was there. I remember talking to Joy around she was sitting on the tailgate of Rick's truck, and I remember asking her, "So are you and Rick together?" Because he hadn't told me anything about this, and she's like, "No." And anyway, she had a little crush on Rick. We won't go into too many details. Clearly, she ended up with the better man. So anyway, so Rick came, brought her to this event, and we were outside for a while, around a fire, and then we went inside. So first thing I needed to do once we went inside was use the facilities. And when I came out of the bathroom, there was no spot to sit. And so I remember looking around the room for a spot to sit. It was a crowded living room. And all of a sudden, I heard the voice of an angel say, "Oh, you can sit over here beside me." And it was Joy sitting on a piano bench. And, piano benches are only 3 feet wide. And she let me sit beside her. And so from that moment on, I knew this girl is special.
I sealed my fate.
Yeah, I was pretty enamored from that moment on. And I remember going home that night, and my mom, I still lived with my parents at the time. My mom was in bed, but she stays up kind of late. And so I remember going into her room and saying, she asked me, "How did everything go? Or did you have fun?" And I said, "Well, I met a girl tonight. And Mom's like, really? Yeah, and she's like, she takes music in university. Up until that point in time, I did not legitimately know that one could go to university for music. I had taken piano lessons, so I'm thinking, does she goes to university for like piano lessons? Just a country bumpkin here. And anyway, I remember she made such an impression on me that I told my mom she was quite special.
Caveat, I still don't think I knew his name.
Oh yeah, Joy still didn't know my name. I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about that.
I was just being nice and letting you sit beside me because there was nowhere else.
I read that totally different.
Yes, you did. So then.
Anyway, I remember I emailed my friend Rick. Because, that's what we did back in the day, is we emailed. There was no text messaging. I emailed my friend Rick and said, hey, that girl that you were with, Joy, can I have her email address? And he gave it to me. I ended up sending off an email to Joy. On a side note, I recently found that old email, the very first email I sent to Joy, and to be totally honest, I am surprised that we are married today. It just sounded desperate. And then...
You didn't hear anything back for a few days.
A day. One full 24 hours.
And that is because...
Okay, so here's the thing.
No.
I emailed her. She doesn't know who I am. And so she's got to clear it with Rick on Thursday night.
Well, because I'm like, why is this guy emailing me?
And Rick vouched for me and said, oh, it's Johnny. He's cool. I remember waking up that morning, and it was around 9 in the morning, and I checked my email. That was the thing you did back then. Like, your email wasn't always with you. Like, you checked your email. It was an event. So I got up and I checked my email, and then I saw an email from her, and it was pretty distant. It was like, oh, hey, how's it going? Yeah, it was really fun the other night. Nice to meet you. And that was it. But I kept responding. And then she kept responding back.
Yeah, and I was getting a little worried because you were kind of obvious and I wasn't looking for anything.
Love finds you when you're not looking for it. Now, I was looking for it. She may not have been.
Anyway, so we emailed back and forth for a while. And we got to know each other over email.
Yeah, it was quite harmless. And I still have all those emails from 1999. I have moved them and saved them from various computers over the years, and I still have them. And every once in a while, I'll crack them open and read them. It's kind of trip down memory lane, nostalgic. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I just have to pause here for a moment to collect my thoughts. We are coming up to the Starbucks speaker, and I've talked about my challenges with ordering, so I'm just trying to gather my thoughts enough to say, hi, can I get 2 tall dark roasts, both with cream? That's what I'm gonna say.
And it shouldn't be too difficult because that's usually what we order.
This is a good order. There's nothing.
So I think we may have to break this up into a few more parts because we're already at 15 minutes.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I told you, you add too many extra details. This is going to be like a 5-part series.
It's like a documentary.
Oh, man.
Biscuits.